Hey, I'm Gary Barnes, and I'm an alumni here at the Midnight Mission from the recovery program. And I'm coming in straight from Omaha, Nebraska. You know, it was a blessing to get here. What it was like growing up for me, I grew up in the poverty side of Nebraska, you know, north side Omaha. But I had both my parents growing up, but they kind of had their own issues going on. But we wanted for nothing, me and my sister. Like Christmas, we had like presents on top of presents, you know what I'm saying? All the holidays, everything was good. And I feel like it took a turn for me as far as like, when I started getting older and I started noticing the issues they had going on, like I'm like, man, they're doing a lot of arguing and stuff like that. I'm like, what's going on? So they end up separating or whatever, you know, and I'm still just, you know, I was a mama's boy, so I'm like, oh, I'm staying with mama, like, you know what I mean? I ain't going nowhere. So my mom, she ended up getting like this surgery, and it ended up like almost killing her, you know what I mean? Like she was really overweight, like 400 or 500 pounds, and she just wanted to get skinny. They ended up cutting her too deep, and she like died on the table and came back. So like that was a really turn for me, because I watched this woman go from a hard working woman, you know, working a 9 to 5, 12-hour shifts to, you know, going on like bed rest for a long time. And then she ended up getting addicted to opiates, you know, so that was really hard for me to just watch that. So I ended up turning to the streets, you know, just trying to figure things out. I was really a nerd though at first. I'm like, man, let me see what's going on around the corner. She used to always tell me to stay away from around the corner. But like, she was like, you know what I mean? She was asleep all the time. So I'm like, I'm gonna just figure it out. I'm gonna get curious. And I ran into some guys that was really, you know, doing things they shouldn't have been doing. So I'm like, you know, I honestly felt like I just been wanted to be seen. I wanted to be wanted, you know, like these guys like me. I'm doing stuff I'm supposed to be doing, but they're like kind of like glorifying me. They showing me the ropes or whatever. So I'm like, bet. I ended up going into foster care, you know, and it wasn't because she was a bad mom. It was because like I had behavior issues that she just couldn't control. So they put me in the foster care temporary, you know, and that's when I ended up like really kind of like, okay, I'm really doing what I want to do now, you know? So like I ended up catching a case in foster care. Me and my foster brother, we ended up doing some robberies, you know, robbing stores and things like that. And I was 16 at the time, bro was 17. And they ended up giving me a mandatory 5. I believe it was 6 to 11 years, mandatory 5. My last year in there, bro ended up passing away in there, you know what I'm saying? So like that was kind of hard. I feel like that was another turning point for me, because I couldn't let people know how I was really feeling about it, but that was really hurting. I was really hurt at the time. I didn't let people know that I was really sweating me like that. But I feel like it really started crashing down when I got released from doing all that time as a kid, and then getting hit with life, and then like just pain after pain. I just kind of like fell into my addiction, you know, and I was like, man, like I was losing my mind. I didn't know what to do. You know, I was a kid. So basically I had a kid mentality when I came back home, and I was just, my pride and my ego had me too afraid to ask for help as a man, you know, like I just seemed like it was weak. So I went back to my last shelter back at home, and I'm like, man, this just ain't for me, you know what I mean? Like I'm listening to them, but I'm like, I'm kind of getting it, you know what I'm saying? But still kind of like straggling. And then so I was doing great though, you know, they told me I was doing great, but then my dad ended up passing away when I was there last year sometime, around October of 2023. And that kind of took me back out, you know, like I didn't really want to hear too much about what people were saying. So Nebraska's just not it for me. Like maybe I need to change my people, places, and things, what they say. So I bought a one-way ticket, you know, and came to California. Like I did not know where I was going when I got here. You know, I just had all my stuff. I packed up with literally some clothes and the Bible and a one-way ticket with no destination. So I'm in LAX, like I'm there for like an hour or two. Like, man, like where I'm gonna go? Like, you know, where I'm gonna go? You know, I'm talking to God, like, come on, help me. So somebody called me and was like, hey, you should try the Midnight Mission out. I'm like, I'll try anything out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just tell me, point me in the right way. He like, all right, bet. He gave me the address, like, just go up there. So I spent $70 of my $100 for a taxi. They told me I could have took the bus for free or whatever. I didn't know. So I get here and I look around. I'm like, oh snap! Like, where am I? Like, they don't have this at home. Like, this is like, yeah, this was most definitely a challenging situation. But I'm like, you know, I trusted, and I was just like, okay, I came into the courtyard. And shout out to Miss Marcy, man, because she planted that seed for me. She don't even know it. Like, she like clicked that light bulb, you know what I'm saying? Clicked that switch in my head for me. Like, so I'm sitting in the courtyard just like, you know, man, I hope they let me in here. I ain't got nowhere to go, you know what I mean? Let me in. So she come out there and she like, hey, you know, how you doing? This is what's going on. She's like, we got housing or we got treatment? I'm like, let me try the housing, because I still want to, you know, kind of drink or whatever. So I'm like, let me try the housing and do what I want to do. She like, do you got a drug and alcohol problem? I'm like, who says I do? You know what I mean? I'm just like, what? I don't think so. I might not, you know. But she like, so she started asking me a lot of questions, and I started like understanding, like, maybe I do got a drug alcohol problem or something like that. Maybe you should try the treatment side, you know what I mean? Because you're like, and when she said, what do you got to lose? That's like, that really clicked. Like once she said that, I started thinking about everything I was going through in life. Like, what do I got to lose? You know what I mean? Like, all right, sign me up. So I did it, you know, and I listened to everything they told me. Like, you need to do this, you need to do that. All right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And like, I'm here 10 months later, you know what I'm saying? 10 months sober, you know, that's as long as I ever been sober. Got a great connection. I'm networking here, you know, the people just, they helped me a lot. Like, they changed my mindset. They showed me how to like understand it's okay to hurt. It's okay to go through pain. It's okay to grieve, but you got to understand those emotions. Like, you can't just go off drugs and alcohol. You know, that's not the real problem. The problem is deep within, you know, the resentments, the regrets, the hurtful things you're going through. And once I got that understanding, I'm like, oh man, like this is really cool. Like, I didn't know that, you know what I mean? And shout out to Mr. Eli, man. He was really bringing out that greatness in me for real, because like, I was very curious when I got here. Like, I'm like, you know, I was just like, oh, maybe this ain't really it, and then maybe this. But I just kept listening, you know what I'm saying? The things they were saying, I'm like, yo, like this is amazing. I've never been taught this way. So that was pretty cool, you know. So I'm here today now, alumni, you know, like I said, of the Midnight Mission. And I really love the Midnight Mission because it's a great place. Like, a lot of people might not see that, but I see it, you know. It's a vision here, you know what I mean? It's more than just a bed and it's something to eat. They can set you up for a lifetime if you let them, you know. You just got to trust the process. And I'm Gary Barnes from Omaha, Nebraska. Thank you for listening to my story.